Grand Rising, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone today? Let's get rid of that. There we go. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Hello, hello, hello. My beautiful sister, Miss Kelly Jones, in the house. Moderating for me over there on Facebook already. Thank you, sister. Hello, hello. How is everybody today? Welcome. Tuesday. We made it to Tuesday. The 14th. I cannot believe we are already in December the 14th. We're 2 weeks in. Can you guys believe that? Like, holy rusted metal, Batman. Welcome, everybody. Welcome if you're new. Excuse me. I got a little tickle in my throat going on this morning. I am Earth Angel Jamica. It is a blessing and an honor to have you here in this place, space, and time. This is where we come together every day, Monday through Friday, setting the intention to nourish ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. We focus on the art of self-care, giving ourselves that 1 hour out of our day to really focus on mind, body, and spirit, nourishing ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. Good morning, Angela. So nice to see you, sister. Good morning. Definitely have a major lag happening here. So all of a sudden everyone went, whoop. So FYI, I'm calling it Pajama Day. I'm in the Pacific Southwest here. Pacific Northwest. Wow. And Southern Oregon. And we're having a major winter storm, winter wonderland happening. We don't have rain or snow here at my house, but we have lots of rain has been dumping for 2 days. If you guys remember, I was supposed to go up north yesterday. We started to head up the mountain and it was a total insane, just white, icy. We were like, nope, turned right back around and came back. So, we have some interesting energy happening with my internet. It's been a little wonky. And then to top it all off this morning, I also have an entire work crew out in my front yard. The whole street is shut down and I'm not sure what they're up to. They started on Friday and now they're wrapping it up today. Yesterday, I can see why I poured all day. They didn't work. I'm not sure if they're even going to get anything accomplished today either with this weather because it looks like it's going to keep dumping soon again. They're out there. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because y'all know the doggies and they're going to possibly be barking here soon when these guys get to work out there. And so FYI, it's going to be one of those mornings. Good morning, Leanne. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. So with that being said, here we are in December and we are in the midst of our tithing challenge, right? We're looking at what it means to tithe. We're looking at understanding how everything that comes to us is a gift from spirit, from God, from source energy, whatever it is you choose to call that. I think we can all just agree though that there's one energy, there's something that created us all. Here we are having this experience, right? And it's through that experience that everything comes to us is a gift. We've been gifted with first this human body, this temple, to be able to be here and have this human experience with each other, right? And so when we look at tithing, it is important that we look at what we do give to ourselves and taking the time to go within and do meditation and do this reflective work and come into doing the shadow work that we've been doing. We spent last month focusing on the Ho'oponopono, where we were focusing on the forgiveness and understanding how, as beautiful, amazing light beings, it's our responsibility, not for people's actions, but it's our responsibility to introduce the healing vibration, right? The love of the Ho'oponopono. And then this month we're shifting into focusing on gratitude and tithing and what that looks like, how we get to act as a conduit for spirit in tithing. Hello, Melissa. It's so good to see you. I missed you guys too. I did. I really missed everybody, but I did have a phenomenal week last week. It was one of those self-care. It was time for me to stop and just take some time to go within. And it was just beautiful because I got to just spend so much time in gratitude, really reflecting on what this year has brought me, where what are some, not only this year, but this past 5 years, 10 years, next thing I know, I'm going all the way back. And I just like, it's endless amounts of gratitude. It's so important for us to take those times, right? That's what we talk about on here. We practice it on here. And to listen to ourselves. We can't always know that, okay, this is going to be the time when I just need to take this little bit of time and reflect. And that's why it's important to go within and understand our energies and what we need, and then learn to honor that. And that's what we practice on here as a group, right? Every day is learning to do that. So, and there they go. They're starting up the engines. I hear them. They're doing like tree chopping. So they're literally like grinding stuff. So it might get kind of loud here in a second, even. So with that being said, normally we do a nice little meditation together, a little guided go in, do a meditation. This morning, I think that might be a bit of a challenge with the background noise and everything. So I am going to invite you. We're going to do a little different type of meditation. This is another cool thing that I like to express, right? I always was under the belief that meditation meant sitting quiet, legs crossed, silence all around, still the mind, only stillness within the mind. And that definitely 100% is a form of meditation. But meditation is, it can be in so many different forms, it out taking a walk, and it's about being in the presence. It's about coming in and really just that appreciation and understanding. It's also a space where we can receive information. We do get little downloads and little feelings and thoughts and expressions come through. So those are those quiet times, right? But there's also times that we can just really let ourselves be in a meditative state through just practicing our breath. Good morning. How are you, sweetheart? I'm so glad you're here, Alejandra. Good to see you, sweetheart. And Teddy is here, and Mike is here. You have people. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Miss Leanne says she has people blowing leaves across the street at the church. See how we're one. This is hilarious. We're one. And Miss Angela is supposed to be 72 here in Iowa tomorrow. What the heck? Not much of a 72 in Iowa. What the heck? See, we got some crazy weather happening in the world right now. It's just, everything's just, again, we can't predict all the, right? This is where we got to just learn to go with the flow. Be in the jam. I love it, right? So with that being said, I thought it was just so on point this morning. Of course, guys, I share with you, I have I get up, I do my spiritual practice, my meditation, my prayer, my, listening. And then I had some readings that I had to do today for my homework. And it was just so perfect. When I read it, I was like, wow, I love you, Spirit. You're so conspiring all the time to bring this information so divinely. And it was just so clear that I needed to share this with you guys this morning. And then, of course, it works out with them doing their grinding that we can't go into that normal deep meditation. So today we're going to practice a little different type of meditation. So I have a small passage from the book. This is from 7,000 Ways to Listen from Mark Nepo. Okay. There's a small passage in here that I want to share with you guys. So what I invite you to do is, if you are in a situation where you can get into a bit of a meditative state, you don't have to close your eyes per se and get real deep into this, but I do invite you to sit comfortably or stand comfortably wherever you're at, and just allow your breath, that life force energy, to bring you into a place of gratitude. Just take a deep breath in, feeling those lungs expand, get wider, how wide that chest opens up, carrying that life force energy into the lungs, and then releasing, exhaling. And I'm also going to throw this out there. I just got the ding from Facebook that they don't like what I'm talking about. So if you are watching, I did comment on the Facebook with the YouTube link. Make sure you come over. Oh, I thought I did. Let me add our YouTube link really quickly. So you can come join us on YouTube. They don't seem to mind what we're sharing. We don't seem to have any lag or funkiness. It is pinned there now. Okay. So I invite you to come on over to the YouTube and watch us over there where we don't seem to have any trouble. And so I just invite you, though, to continue to just focus on the breath. Bring yourself into setting the intention of sitting in gratitude, opening up our minds, opening up our hearts, and opening up to allowing the life force energy, allowing spirit to speak to our hearts, to speak to us in ways that we can understand, because that's the beauty of us being unique individual expressions, because we're one, but we're also that unique individual expression, uniquely you, one of a kind, right? And spirit knows how to open up, and what words will vibrate, what thought will help you to transform and to come into a new understanding of giving and receiving, what tithing really is about. That's what tithing truly is about us understanding that everything that comes to us really is coming through us as a gift from source, and enabling us to be in that flow of giving and receiving. And so Mark Nepo, again, has this beautiful little passage I wanted to share with you guys out of his book, 7,000 Ways to Listen. So I invite you to continue to just breathe in gratitude while I share this little passage with you, clearing your mind, clearing your heart, just setting in the place of intentional gratitude and expansion for whatever it is that resonates for you. Okay? The gift in receiving. And there's a quote from Lao Tzu, who was also our quote yesterday, if you remember. I thought, again, so on point, how universe is conspiring for us always. Can you hold the door of your tent wide to the firmament? And that's from Lao Tzu. We usually think of giving as more important than receiving. Yet, only by receiving light can flowers grow into their beauty and pollinate the earth. Only by absorbing rain can the earth grow what feeds us. Only by inhaling air into our bodies walks us to each other. Only by inhaling air can our bodies walk us to each other. Only by accepting each other's pain and vulnerability can human strength grow between us. In these ways, receiving involves absorbing, inhaling, and accepting the life that flows through us, between us, and around us. There are all deeper forms of listening. On the surface of things, giving and receiving are about exchanges. I need, you give. I feel grateful. You feel good about yourself. I feel indebted. I give back. We take turns. But below the surface of things, giving and receiving become indistinguishable. And the aim is not to have or move things from one person to another, but to keep the gifts of life flowing. The pulse of being alive moves like blood circulating in the body, and giving and receiving, like arteries and veins, are both necessary, for no one organ owns the blood. Rather, we are one body, the gift of life. Like blood, must keep flowing if we are to stay alive. The difference between receiving and taking, between taking things in and taking things from, is crucial. To be sure, there's nothing wrong with taking something given by another. But when taking tightens into hoarding, we stop listening, and the imbalance poisons us and those nearby. We're always capable of both receiving and taking, and so must guard against being one who just takes and inquires in favor of developing our capacity to take in and transmit the life force given, to be a conduit rather than be a repository. The gift in receiving is that through such openness, we apprehend the world. Deep listening is a form of gifted receiving. When Lao Tzu asked in the above quote, "Can you hold the door of your tent wide to the firmament?" He is challenging us not to define the world by whatever shelter we create, but to let in the stars, to throw open our tent of mind and heart wide open in order to receive and listen to the flow of life. Of course, this is not easy as it sounds, but it is as essential as light, rain, and air. I don't even think I need to say anything else on top of that. I just think that was just such a beautiful, perfect expression of this giving and receiving and how important this tithing is that we're talking about, right? This ability to not hoard, but to transmute, to be that conduit of energy to flow through us and to really understand the gifts. Like that's the gifts of getting to be in this, right? Right, Pauline? Hi, Pauline. Grand Rising. I'm so glad you're here, sister. Wow, right? It's just so amazing how the universe is always divinely conspiring just for us, you guys. So perfectly. It is phenomenal, 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 mind-blowing, right? Thank you, Teddy. Call on Mike to shield. It's actually working pretty well. I'm telling you, they're out there working, but the dogs are relaxed. This is nice job, Mike. Nice job, Teddy. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I've missed you guys too. I missed you, Pauline. So, with that being said, I'm just going to throw out there after that little the giving and receiving and the reminder of the tithing challenge that we have going on this month, right? The unexpected income, the understanding the being of the flow. I was just looking back and reflecting again this last week on where I've come with understanding tithing. You know, when I started learning about this tithing stuff myself about a year ago and coming into new understandings of it, my belief system on tithing was I had always been taught that it was a religious thing and that the church wanted my money. And if I didn't give it to them, then I wasn't getting into the places that they thought that basically that's all it was about. That's what I was taught. It was just, and it was only about money, giving to that. And it didn't matter. Like, it didn't even matter if you were a part of, my family history, I won't name anything because I'm not here to put down, because I believe everything's, I don't think anything's wrong now. I think they're all right now. So I'm not saying it's a wrong thing. I just have different beliefs now in it. But with that being said, at one point from a certain particular place. A family member of mine got a bill for their tithing that they owed over the past like 10 years that they hadn't even been present in the particular place at all. So I found that it just an interesting, it left a bad taste in my mouth in my previous experiences to what tithing was. And the really bad part of that is because of that, I was blocking my own prosperity because I didn't understand that wasn't what resonates with me. Again, an understanding. I now have an understanding of tithing is about 10% of what we receive, and understanding that our source is always coming. It's all like spirit is always going to take care of us when we're in that flow. And it's not about just giving to a place because we're told. It's about where we're spiritually being fed. It's about, again, that flow of giving and receiving. And Spirit used a garden to really teach me the difference in it. And so what that was is to plant seeds. If you plant one seed, right, you tithe back. If you go harvest and you take one seed from that harvest, just one, that 10%, right, or even one fruit, right, 10% of the harvest, plant it back, it's always going to multiply back to you. Like, that's part of keeping the flow of abundance going, is planting those seeds. And it is about where we want it to go and being spiritually fed in that space. So with that being said, the challenge this month is to tithe. If you're not used to financially tithing, tithe 10% of unexpected income, things you weren't expecting this month. So if you go to the grocery store and you were going to spend $50 and you got a $10 off coupon and you only spent $40, that means you just got $10 of unexpected income, right? It would be $1. And then finding a place where you are spiritually fed to tithe that to. That doesn't mean it has to be an organization. It can be. I have the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living I go to. I do my tithing there. But I also go to the wildlife safari. And when I walk through there, I'm in touch with the animals. You guys know that. I get messages from the animals. So that's spiritually feeding to me. So that would be another place I would tithe above and beyond. If I go there that week, I'm going to give some of my tithing there that week because I understand I want to keep that flow of things happening, right? It could be a waitress giving you, you're asking in prayer and then they come and just give you the most divine message and that was from Spirit. That would be a place you'd want to tithe, right? That's what tithe, the giving and the receiving, being in the flow. And that's what it's about. And that's what the challenge is about for this month. Sorry, Melissa, let me go back and reread I have a question. I had unexpected 2,000 come in this month, but I'm not working and I am in deep financial need. The 200 I should tithe, I do need. Do I still tithe? I'm worried I might need it. Melissa. Oh, sister, girlfriend, I love you so much. Okay. I'm going to tell you something. Now, I cannot tell you what to do because tithing it's got to be about what you feel and what you've got to step into it and make the commitment. What I'll say is my first challenge. I promise you guys, I love this is coming up right now. The very first time, this was 3 years ago. Through the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living, I signed up through them, and they did this tithing challenge of the unexpected income. This is the first time it entered my wheelhouse. And I was very financially in debt. I mean, I was buried. I didn't know where anything was coming from, but I literally had just gotten out of a relationship that had gone very funky very quickly. I mean, yeah, I feel you. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, the stress, right? And I got blessed with a friend gifted me with a loan. They gave me a loan, a $5,000 loan. And that helped me to get through this couple of month period until I could get my vehicle sold. And that was like my savings. Everything was in my savings in that vehicle that I had put into this business that I opened. And so it was like, okay, I was going to cash that out. And then everything, then I knew I would be okay. Once I got that, I'd be okay. I would float me for just a little while, get me through this. And I had it all planned out, even like to the dollar amount, how that amount would float me until this would come in, because I used to be very like I had to know how things were coming. I would wake up morning and night stressing on my finances and making things happen. I promise you, I love this is coming up right now because it's really such a great reflection for me too. So my van sold the month that I went to the spiritual center. I said, okay, I'll do it. Fine. Okay, Spirit. If this is because I was focusing too. I was even taking a class on financial freedom. I had been focusing on my relationship with money and understanding that I had this relationship I had to start with receiving. I was very closed off to receiving. I'd been doing all that work around it. So when they brought up this challenge, I said, okay, Spirit, this is it. I will commit for 30 days. For 30 days, I will give 10% of unexpected income that comes in. 30 days. I'll give you 30 days and see what happens. My van sold. Then a day or two of me making that commitment. So happily, I was grateful about that. Yay, happy, 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 happy. I went to give back the loan. I went to pay off my loan. And the person that had given me the loan turned around and handed it back to me as a gift. $5,000. So I feel you, sister, when you say, right? So now I have a $500 tithing. Now this is a girl who was not into tithing. I believed it was like I had a negative vibe to tithing. Girl, if you don't think, I'm going to say it, my butt puckered, my body, everything went, and I struggled. I struggled with that. I mean, I struggled. I had to go into prayer. I had to go into, and I'll promise you, Spirit every time is like, it's up to you. There's no right or wrong to this. It's up to you. You made the what if? Spirit's all, what if though? What if, Jamaica? What if? Because here's the deal. The 500 made my butt pucker, but I didn't expect the 5,000 to be given back to me. And all of a sudden, when I understood that, I went, oh, wait. Oh, yeah, but I didn't even expect to have this. So Tithe, like, really, I didn't okay. That made me go, okay. And I gifted it. $500 cash, put it in the envelope, sent it off, and I had to do some work around that. I did. I had to do some work around letting it go. I had to balance, and what I will say is I was fine. The flow kept coming. And what I do know today, in comparison, that I do understand about tithing now, is there have been times still to this day, I promise you, there's been days that I have tithed and been down to 46 cents in my bank account and did not know where it was going to come from. But I knew that, you know what? I get it now. I get it because this isn't mine. I'm the conduit. And when I'm open, everything works out. And it does. And I've gotten, all of a sudden, clients come through. All of a sudden, my schedule's full. All of a sudden, somebody gifts from this. Or, I get a check in the mail that I wasn't expecting. The second time I did the tithing challenge, got more into this, I had a $56 check show up in the mail that, it might have been the first time. I think that was in the first round too. Because then I was like, well, that's pretty cool. I had like $56 show up that I didn't even know was out there floating. A check from a bank account that supposedly they closed on me that I didn't even know I had. So, all I can say, Melissa, is I feel you. And if it makes it feel not right, don't, but just, do what's right in your heart, and talk to spirit about it. Like, this is between you and spirit. Have a conversation, like really go into it, and sit in that meditative state, go into openness, and then go into gratitude. Okay. Just go into looking at the things you're grateful for, and you'll know the right thing in your heart. What I can, it worked out for me wonderfully. And I've heard so many other amazing stories of people that's just it, is it does. And even if we do it in fear, and then that's the beautiful thing about the law that we teach and we talk about here, right? When we plant a seed, it is going to manifest back to us in some way, no matter what. Maybe not the way we think it needs to. So that's why we need to step back and be open into, you might plant a financial seed. It might appear to be a money seed that you plant, but what comes back to you is, a mountain of spiritual enlightenment. Or you might plant a spiritual enlightening seed, a seed that you appear to you as just a little thought of enlightenment into somebody's world, and that come back to you as a windfall of financial abundance. Like, we don't get to, like, just like in the garden, right? We go out and we plant a seed into the garden, but we don't get to say exactly how many tomatoes is going to come back and how many seeds are in each tomato, or what exact color. Each one's going to have a little color, a little variety, a little different, a little different thing that comes back. That's not up to us part. That the universe grows it. It's just up to us to plant. Hopefully that helps you, love. I'm excited to hear how it turns out for you. Talk to Kelly Jones too. Ask her. Does it matter how you feel when you tithe? So I'm going to say no. Like, that's, I didn't even catch that was a question. It does not matter. But what I will say is it does matter where you tithe. It doesn't matter how, but it matters where. That is a biggie that Spirit has made very clear to me. If tithing is about placing it into a place of where you want to produce more of, right? So if we are tithing to, we're tithing to hunger. Let's say we're feeding the children in Africa, or we adopt a kid and that's our tithing, right? Not that that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing to do, but that wouldn't be counting as our tithing, because we don't want to create more hunger. We're not feeding hunger, right? We're not feeding those. It's about the spiritual feeding. So finding a place where that spiritual food is coming from. If it is a church, that's a great, I highly bring everybody, I think, should have some type of spiritual space that they can plug into and get a positive, feeding, and that's where you should be tithing to. And if you don't have that, I recommend getting that, finding that place that you do feel good in your heart, that even though you're like, oh, I know that this is fearful and I'm having faith, I'm trusting that I'm planting this seed into this spiritual space, and that I'm provided for. But that where you're planting it, like, that is, no matter what, that stuff you want to see reproduced, because you draw from that, you get nourished from that too, right? You want to keep that is important. It is very important. That's the part of tithing for me growing, like, that I was taught that it didn't matter. You just did it there, and it had to be into those places. And that's not it. It's not about that. It is about where you want it to keep the flow going. Miss Kelly says, last challenge, I laughed. Boom shakalaka. A check was in the mail and I did my tithing, the 10%. Yeah, she got checks in the mail. She had, and not only that, I don't want to tell your whole story, because I would love for you to share it, Miss Kelly, but she found a family that she tithed to during that whole thing. Like, she didn't really, know where, but she was looking for. And so, you know, the relationships and the crossing of paths and the things that happen along the journey for her was just amazing that she shared with all of us. And that's what happens for all of us as we do this. And now it's amazing, right? And that's me. So now I'm the girl that's like, I get to tithe. I get to tithe this amount this week. Oh my gosh, I get to tithe this amount. Like, I get excited. And even I don't check my account the same way. I used to check and think, okay, what do I have to tithe this week? Now I check it and go, what do I get to? Like, it's a difference in my vibration, but it came from practice. It came from practicing, having to practice. And Spirit slowly, through these challenges, through saying, okay, what if, hey, you don't have to, Jamaica, but what if you do? What do you got to lose? What could happen? And let me tell you what happens. Prosperity, what? Milk and honey, joy, peace, ease. To me, prosperity, I used to think prosperity would have to look like me having a big fat checking account in order for me to feel financially secure. Today, I live in prosperity knowing that I don't have to have a big fat checking account, that I live prosperous and secure because God is my source. And God is an infinite supply, and it is unlimited, and it'll be there if I need it. It's there. That's the difference that we work towards, though. It's at least for me, if you can snap your fingers and get to that, more power to you. But if not, take up the challenge and see what happens. When you start to see things happen, you start to have a little more faith, and it becomes easier and easier and easier to say, you know what, yay. And that's how come I'm able to sit here today. The end of this year, guess what? When I go to do my tax, because I'm self-employed and I pull in, I'm going to have to do it all that way. Don't get me wrong, IRS, if you're listening. But what's cool about it is I tithe 10% or more. Sometimes I even tithe extra on what I want to make my income, because I know now that works too. The law of like, okay. But literally, I can just go by my tithing amount to places and know what my yearly income was. I'm just saying, that's kind of cool. That was a new thing for me that I was like, well, that's definitely a new one, because I know 100% this year. There's not a doubt in my mind. Full year, I tithe. Again, like I said, I just do. I know there's been one time in this year I literally was down to like 64 cents or something in my account once I tithe, and I had no clue. And literally the next morning I woke up and it was all good. So, okay, guys. That was a long, I hope that answers everyone's questions. So if you tithe by supporting a group or organization, is that the same thing? Okay, Pauline, that's a great question. So my question to you is, are you a part of that organization in the sense of, because I think that can definitely be very spiritual. I'm not the one to say if that's a place where you're spiritually being fed, but I do believe that a lot of people are, right? That's a great, like, to get into sports, and if you're in that meditative state, and if being a part of that is spiritually feeding you, and you feel like that's for you, where, you know, that's up to you to call. But I would say 100% if that's where you're spiritually being fed. So the difference would be, like, for me, when I pick the wildlife safari, I don't tithe. It's not part of my regular tithing every week. But when I go there, if I happen to be there that week, because I'm spiritual and I'm so in tune with the animals, walking around, chatting with them, I always have very amazing spiritual experiences in that place, right? I have spiritual experiences. So for me, that's a place that spiritually feeds me. So that's a place I want to tithe to. So you, Pauline, if you are a part of that organization, and as you go, you have spiritual experiences, which yeah, why couldn't you? Some people might try to tell you can't, but if anybody tries to tell you can't have a spiritual experience doing something, I would tell them to try going within. because this is your experience. It's not my place. I can't tell you what your experiences are. I have no right. That's up to you. But if that's where you're spiritually fed, then 100%. Now, if you're not a part of it every week, then that wouldn't be a tithe. You want, again, it's about that spiritual nourishment, but it can bounce around. I bounce around. I always give to the center because I'm always a part of that. But I give other, I'll take some from here and there and give to, or give a little above and beyond if I'm experiencing different things. So, okay, Melissa, you have another question. Yes, ma'am. What is it? It's above in the chat. Okay. Is it right that the return of tithing is not necessarily financial, but could be spiritual or other things? Is that what I'm hearing? So yes. So that's the point of it is when we give with tithing, what I'm saying with that is I don't recommend giving. Okay, I'm going to tithe to you, Spirit, $10, and I'm expecting to see 500 come back over here. Like I tithe over here, and I know that you're going to reproduce this over here. It's about tithing into that, knowing that Spirit understands what we need of everything, whether it's financial, whether it's spiritual, whether it's food, nourishment, shelter, whatever energy that is needed for us specifically, Spirit is bringing in through us. And it will, as we plant into those spaces, that gratitude, that planting those seeds, then we are building that faith and opening, really, because it's all there. Spirit's wanting, like, it's not even that us planting it creates us a shift in our opening to receiving, because it's all there waiting for us to receive. But we're full up here, so we have to plant over here, see the gift in order to receive over here. And we don't know what it's going to look like. We just have to, that's where the trust and faith comes in, that God, that Spirit, that source energy, there's not a spot where God is not. God is in everything and in back of everything. Universe is always conspiring. We see it every morning on here, every day, right? And it's building of that faith that whatever is needed will come in, and that you can let go of the fear of what your checkbook has to look like, and know that what you need when you need will be there. And even when we get in the midst of being behind, I get, because I come from that. Believe me, I've buried. And that's another thing I'm in awe this year. Through doing this and not worrying, not doing it the old Jamaica way that was always checks and balances and making sure, and mind turning and waking up and going to sleep with where my account was. You guys, and this is another mind-blowing thing. I can't explain to you exactly how, but I just know from being in this flow and having a different shift, I'm almost completely out of debt this year. I have managed to pay off like 3 different accounts that I've been trying, working hard to manifest and do, focusing this way instead of focusing this way. And since I've shifted my focus here and being open to just knowing, it's magically happening. It's happening. Okay, so with that said, I went to the grocery store and they had a sale going on that I didn't look up previously before going. Then I needed to get a new phone as mine was done, and she gave me $10 off. And something else happened that day too, and that's what I used for the paintings I purchased. Yay! That's awesome! That's awesome! So, that is all unexpected income, sweetheart. All of that is unexpected income. Every bit of that. And what I would even go so far as to say, and I will say be careful with this, because we can trick ourselves into, not being in the flow and hoarding, if you will. But I do believe it is important that we focus on tithing to ourselves to a certain degree as well, by understanding this is where we're spiritually fed. So by that, I mean, Miss Leanne, you purchased a painting that you have hanging in your sacred space. You shared that picture with me in this very beautiful sacred space, right? To me, that is a very beautiful example of tithing to ourselves, because we're feeding that we're feeding that place where we're spiritually being fed. That's enabling us to create that sacred space. So that, I would say, yes, could be part of our tithing. We could consider that into being part of that tithing for ourselves as well. But be careful, because, right, we could trick ourselves into that hoarding and, everything tithing into this. And we want to make sure it's about that spiritually being fed. Good morning, man child. So good to see you, sister. Hello. Okay, I think I touch on everybody's tithing is a gift to, not a have to. Exactly. Tithing is a get to, not a have to. But it is a have to. It is a have to if you want to be in the law of circulation. If you want to be in the law of attraction, of giving and receiving, tithing is a necessity. But that's only if you want to. We're not required. It's not a requirement to live this life and be human to do that. But it is a requirement if we want to step into our true prosperity. It is. That's beautiful, Miss Moonchild. I make tithes to myself every morning. See, it is even this. Like, again, when we talk about tithing, 2.4 hours out of your day, giving yourself that time to really pay attention to you. I invite you to, especially this month when we're focusing on gratitude, spend a few moments every morning tithing into that gratitude and really focusing on what it is to have this human body. We get to taste, smell, we get to feel things, right? Feel. We get to hear, not only outside of here, but within our minds. We get to think, we get to speak, we get to formulate energy into a vibration that creates a word and an expression. We get to creatively express. Such beautiful gift. What a gift, this temple, this home. Think of everything that it's automatic, autopilot, self-sustaining, self-circulating, eliminating, processing, right? I love it. Tithing into this is important, because this allows us this experience, and this is a gift. This is a spiritual experience. Being a human is a spiritual experience. Present, being in the present, the word is in itself present. This is our present right here, right now. So with that being said, before we run out of time, I'm going to move into the beautiful book that we're sharing from Miss Deborah Perdue. I shared with you guys yesterday, she challenged us to pick 5 things every day. And I challenge you, yes, so tithing can absolutely mean gratitude. And I'm going to say this is part of this tithing challenge. Take 5 minutes out of your day each morning when you wake up and tithe to yourself this time to go within and go into gratitude. Gratitude for 5 things. 5 things. Pick 5 things. I just named off what? Our smell, our taste, our sight, our hearing, our feeling. There's 5 right there, just boom. I mean, look at the domino effect when we come into this place of gratitude. And I challenge you to really focus on the gratitude for this temple right now, for this body, for this experience that it allows you to have. Tithe into this, love this, and see what kind of shifts you have. 40 days and see, just see. Look what happened with the tithe or the forgiveness challenge. Our team said, hey guys, give it a shot. We moved freaking mountains last month, you guys. Literally, we moved mountains of crap out of our way. We leveled the playing field. We rototilled. We got the everything ready to plant these seeds of gratitude. And now Spirit's saying, lay it on me. Tithe this gratitude into this soil so that I can produce for you. We hold the seeds. It's up to us. We hold the seeds. Taking 5 minutes, 5 things a day, and planting them into the universe of gratitude, of love. What will we produce in 40 days? Let's see. I make a request of presence over presence. I love it. Yes, I love that. Presence over presence. Right? All right. Let's just pick up, we're going to pick a passage today, just rando. Somebody give me a number. The first number I see between 1 and 181. Oh, 183. Between 1 and 183. 22. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, we have 22 and 33. I looked up and seen 33, and I think, oh, you guys are, well, I'll tell you what. We had 22 and 33. Those two grabbed me. So we'll just read them both really quick. Ready? I've learned that I still have a lot to learn. I love that, right? Thank goodness. And that's from Maya Angelou. How I appreciate every single year of my growing up to get to where I am today. And I am still growing up. It takes a wise person to realize that she doesn't know as much as she thought she did. It was learning a computer for a while. I thought I was a big shot at it, and then realized how much more I could know, and I got humble. Or when I was a teen and young adult, I had a know-it-all attitude, and then as the school of life taught me, I was actually more arrogant than I realized. I am grateful to know I still have a lot to learn. And I am grateful to life for offering an infinity of knowledge to dive into. Boom! All right, let's read 33 too. We're going to read those two because they both grabbed me. We'll pull a card and we'll wrap it up. 33. In the end, there are just 3 things that matter. How well we have lived, how well we have loved, and how well we have learned to let go. Really? Is that not on point? Learn to let go? You guys, come on. We're talking about tithing and, oh, really? And the law of giving and receiving. That was me letting go. Oh, I didn't want to let go of nothing. I held on to everything. My emotions, my fears, my money, my tithings, my energy. Wow. Okay. For me, the most challenging of these things is to learn to let go. And I know attachments keep me stuck. How easy is it to be stuck on those I love dearly, not wanting to lose them? How easy is it to be stuck in my comfortable routines with how I live? I am very grateful to watch myself let go when it is needed. I am very grateful to accept the things I cannot change. As the famous serenity prayer goes, I am very grateful to live and love fiercely. Boom, shakalaka boom. That's all I got to say. That's it. Just boom. Any more? I'm letting go of third grade problems as we speak. Boom. Boom. Letting it go. Letting it go. How often do we do that? Y'all, anybody hold on to their challenges? Anybody? We do all this shadow work to let go, right? And then we're like, no, don't take that away because that's mine. Who would I be without that? It takes courage. It takes strength to say, no, you know what? I'm going to open my hand and let this go and have faith. Have faith that it'll transmute, let it go, and that those things that will serve me are coming in. All right, let's see what the Archangel or the Ascended Masters have for us really quick. I think it's actually, nope. Okay, hold on. I just heard really clearly. The unicorns want to come play real quick. Hold on. Come and play. Oh. The unicorns are like, it's our turn, which are all about play. Alrighty, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Woohoo, there went flying. Well, in case we're curious about, what is it about this? Why is this coming up? And we're learning about tithing and the gratitude. And we have the unicorns coming in with the healer card. And what is it we focus on here, right? The art of self-care. And so they're saying literally this is part of your healing. This is part of coming into a new understanding of shifting out of a lack mentality, a lack thinking pattern, into a pattern of prosperity, of abundance, of joy, of peace, of harmony in our hearts. You have powerful healing abilities. You. Have faith in your abilities. Stay true to your path. I don't know who. It's not just one. It's all of us. Let me rephrase that. I do know who needs to hear this right now. We all need to hear this right now. Take the time today to look up the word lack. Poverty. Look up the word poverty. Look at the words associated with poverty. Literally look at the words that are used in poverty. And then I want you to look up the word prosperity. So you look up the similar words. You get the definition and then look up the similar words under poverty. Look up prosperity. And then look up the words used with prosperity. Okay? This is the mind shift. This is the healing work. We are shifting out of poverty. We severed those ties. We are not associated with poverty anymore, and we are breaking generational thought patterns. We are healing through our conscious awareness of the law of attraction and the law of giving and the law of receiving. We're stepping in as our own healer for our lives and generational stuff. Generations. We're changing it right here, right now. It stops. The poverty mentality stops right here with us. We are prosperous beings. Prosperity is our divine birthright. But we can't live in prosperity if we're hoarding and not planting the seeds. We have to be the flow. We have to be the conduit in order to be the healer in our life. I love it. Boom. Shakalaka. Be blessed today and recognize it. Exactly. Amen. Exactly. All right, guys. We actually did make it for a whole hour today. I love you all. FYI, it is a little bit of a wonky week with these holidays coming up, and next week might even be a little shorter of a week. We'll see with everything. But I'll keep you guys up to date always, of course. I am excited. We are going to have amazing, my mentor, my healer that I work with, is going to be on next week talking about toxic cell memory release. This is something I highly recommend that she does. I started working with her about a year ago. And just off the hook with talk about shifts and changing and doing work. So she's going to be on and explain a little bit about what that looks like next week and how you can schedule a session with her if you're interested in that. And I am going to be teaching Reiki 1. I know there were several people last round that wanted in on that. Reiki 1 on January the 10th. It is a Monday. And it will be from 10 a.m. Pacific time till I think it's 4 p.m. 10 to 4. So if you're interested in that, come on over to earthangelsheavensent.com. You can check out all the services there. If you would like a distance Reiki session, which right now, this time of year, with all of the crazy energies happening out there, being out shopping and so much, there's a lot of energy flying around in the air. Reiki is an amazing way to really pamper yourself. Give your tithe to yourself. Tithe to yourself a Reiki session. You deserve it. The beautiful thing about it is you get to stay in the comfort of your own home, in your own sacred space, right? And because energy, I can connect with you from a distance. We talk first on a Zoom link. We connect a little bit. I get permission to go into your field, and then you just relax. I go on in, I do the work, and then we chat again afterwards. You guys, I have yet to have a person. It's not just the most, it's relaxing. It's stress reduction, complements all health. There's nothing that it opposes or goes against. It actually works with everything and just bringing overall holistic health, peace, calm, joy. So sign up, get yourself a Reiki session and stay in your home, like treat yourself, tithe to yourself this month. I especially right now, because when we gift to ourselves, right, when we are able to stress and release and let go of those things, then what are we tithing out into the world? Then we're able to walk in peace. We're able to walk in calm. We're able to be the love, to be the joy, right? So really, when you tithe to yourself, then what happens? We're tithing out to the world. Sister Hawk, do you have time for a reading? I do have time for a reading, sister. I do. And thank you for bringing that up. That's another, if you would like a reading, simply go to earthangelsheavensent.com as well. And under the services, I have half-hour private readings, hour readings, spiritual coaching sessions, Reiki sessions. We also have over in the store, we have paintings, jewelry for sale. Check it out. It's just a great website. Links to the YouTube for meditations and all the good stuff. All right, guys, let's see. Let me make sure I got everyone wrapped up. Let me wrap it up over here on the Facebook, Miss Kelly, and then I can definitely pull a card for whoever's needing over there. I I love you guys over here. I will be back tomorrow morning. That's where I was going with that. Tomorrow morning at 8:30, but I do have to head out of town again. We're making another attempt to go through the mountains tomorrow. So I'm not sure what time. I might be a little shortened version of the show tomorrow, so just be prepared for that. But I will be on. I will pop on and say hi. And same thing for the rest of the week, actually. I just have such a busy week coming up. Thursday and Friday will probably be shortened versions of the show as well. So, alrighty, guys. I love you. I do have an amazing song that I want to share with everybody as we go out, because music is another amazing healer. And talk about gratitude. Get this song in your head. Walk around and sing this all day. When you're in the midst of challenges out and about, I challenge you to just sing this song. See what happens. I love you all. See you in the morning.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 so grateful, so very grateful. I'm grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, so grateful, so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, so grateful, I'm so grateful, so
I love you all. Have a blessed day. I will see you back here tomorrow morning.